Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. Great article from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So, more problems for T-Mobile. Now, more companies are coming forth. After we had Blowsurf come out and claim interference issues. Now we got Red Zone and Next Wave also complaining of interference from T-Mobile's 5G. So all of this, right? T-Mobile has had 2.5 already deployed for the last 4 years. All of this this complaining didn't start until Auction 108 was put on air. So that's very, very interesting that now all of a sudden these smaller private networks are coming out saying that there's interference issues with T-Mobile lighting up additional 2.5, and T-Mobile's trying to buy more of it. So, two additional companies, Red Zone Wireless in Maine and Next Wave in New York, claim that T-Mobile's 5G network in its 2.5 spectrum is interfering with the operation. So again, before Auction 108, T-Mobile really wasn't deploying a lot of 2.5 in Maine because they didn't own much. They had to buy more, which they did. So Red Zone really didn't have to worry about any interference because T-Mobile didn't operate it before they got this Auction 108. But they already had radios deployed. So to launch that, they did that fairly quickly. And then Next Wave in New York, T-Mobile has had 2.5 deployed in New York since the very beginning. That was one of the first markets that got 2.5. And now with the additional Auction 108, perhaps in some of the more suburbanish, very small rural areas like upstate New York, they went to 190 from like 80 megahertz or whatever. So that's where they're probably having the most complaints of interference. So they claim that T-Mobile's 5G network in its 2.5 spectrum is interfering with their operations. They join Blowsurf, which operates in Maryland, in raising interference complaints against T-Mobile. We have customers that are suffering great harm. Red Zone founder and CEO Jim McKenna told Light Reading, we have customers that have left us because of this. So this is a pressing matter, pressing issue, but these companies haven't done anything from a legal perspective. So I think T-Mobile is sitting back and they're waiting to see what these companies' moves are, because these are smaller companies. They don't really have the financial means to compete against T-Mobile if it becomes a large legal battle. T-Mobile almost has $190 billion market cap. They would crush these companies in court if it goes that far. So I think what these companies are waiting for the FCC to step in, but then the T-Mobile would probably sue the FCC if it came down to it, to say, hey, look, all of this was legally purchased. You were the ones to open up these spectrum auctions. You should have made sure that these licenses were clean. So that's what I'm thinking T-Mobile's counter argument will be if this ever goes to court. And then also, I want to throw this in, and I'll throw this in another video. T-Mobile is getting more 2.5. So there have been some companies that have participated in Auction 108, and it seems like now they're selling that spectrum back to T-Mobile. T-Mobile's appetite for additional 2.5 shows no signs of slowing. The company recently filed for FCC permission to acquire additional 2.5 licenses in California, Louisiana, Kentucky, New York, and North Carolina. T-Mobile acquired the bulk of 2.5 spectrum license when it purchased Sprint in 2020. It acquired more mostly in rural areas in the FCC Auction 108 in 2022. 2.5 forms the mid-band core of T-Mobile's high-speed network. So they're trying to close that, and they're just trying to own all of it. T-Mobile is hoping to purchase its latest batch of 2.5 licenses from Central Louisiana, license CLL. CLL is tied to Jonathan Foxman in Cellular One. Foxman is the CEO of MTPCS, a small wireless provider that operates under various brands, including Cellular One, as Light Reading previously reported. So T-Mobile is not done. Like I said, they have the free cash flow to now operate in this manner. If they want to buy more 2.5, they can do so. And a lot of these companies, outside of the ones that are complaining, they have no real use for it. T-Mobile already has the ecosystem deployed. They have the radios deployed. They got handsets in consumers' hands. They want to do the whole home broadband at a bigger scale. This will get them there. In some cases, like it states here, T-Mobile's FCC filing on the topic stated that the purchase of CLLS licenses would increase T-Mobile's overall spectrum holding up to 400 megahertz in some locations. Now, that includes AWS PCS, the 2.5 that they already have C-band, DoD, low band, all of that will equate to the 400 megahertz. That's a huge amount of spectrum holdings if you compare that to the competition. So there might be some additional complaints coming out from AT&T, of course. They have been the ones complaining. And then maybe even Verizon now. If T-Mobile gets too much spectrum, see, that's something that nobody thought about, right? When everybody was saying, oh, C-band is clean, C-band is this, C-band is that, right? It's contiguous. 2.5 has its issues, as we see in this article, but nobody ever thought, well, maybe T-Mobile can purchase these companies or purchase the licenses to make it contiguous. So if T-Mobile is able to do that with time, they could potentially own across the United States 194 megahertz of contiguous 2.5. And I assume internally at T-Mobile, that's the goal. I mean, that would be great spectrum holdings to compete against, anybody. Even in the areas where Verizon has 200 megahertz of C-band, T-Mobile can compete very well there with 194, and then all the other assets, the AWS, PCS, low band, the C-band, DoD, they can compete well with that portfolio. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you're annoyed by these companies now, or if you think there's some merit to this. Let us know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.